Yo, what up guys? Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to talk about the top 5 battle records of all time. Well, okay, maybe not. So I have to admit, I've been getting a little bit bogged down making tutorial videos. They're quite taxing, and you start recording and then the thing that you wanted to show all of a sudden stops working. So I'm going to take a little break and make something a bit more to do with what I want to make the channel about, and it's just scratching and records and kind of having fun with DJing. So I've been sorting out all my records recently, and it gave me the idea to do my top 5 battle records basically. As you can see, I've got a few more than that, so I'm not going to stick to that too religiously. You can still buy these records on Discogs and things like that, so if you do want to check them out, you can still find most of them. I've just noticed my hair sticking up too. That's cool, isn't it? Let's just aim for our top 5, I guess. First one I've got here is Scratch Roulette by DJ JS1. This is on the Ground Original label. I've used this one a lot because it's basically just pretty much all sound effects, which for scratching is really cool. It's not skipless, but that's a good and a bad thing.
Doing the bad shit though, your way out your jurisdiction. Bite it. The real rock steady taking out the toy. Rock steady.
If you look at the label, you can see I've not completely caned this one, and I think that's probably because this one particularly had like a weird bow. Do you know when you have those records and for whatever reason they're a bit sticky on one of the sides? It's just not a slippy record, and either I've made the hole too small or it's just bowed in a certain way. So that's why this one's not been completely caned. But I did actually really enjoy this record for the original samples it's got, and when you think about the whole 2 sides are completely scratch samples, that's a lot of new stuff to scratch with and have fun with.
Yo, stop fronting and use your head.
The next one, I had to include this because it turns out I've got 3 of them. Super Duck Breaks by DJ Babu. This is on Stonesthrow Records. Absolute classic label, and just an absolute classic of a scratch record, to be honest. I've even got a super duper duck. I've even got a super duper duck break. That's really hard to say. I've even got a super duper duck breaks in one of these sleeves. I don't know what happened to the original sleeve for that, but I've got 2 of that in here for some reason. Stonesthrow, amazing. It's just a classic. Babu, one of the best turntablists. I mean, he fucking came up with the name, didn't he, apparently? Turntablist. So, yeah. Big ups, Babu. 3 of them, plus super duper duck breaks. Hey, got it. Amazing. Check them out if you can get them. Really, really good.
Ready, 1, 2.
Next one is Hee Haw Breaks, which is by DJ Butchwax, which is actually just DJ Flair, I think. Yeah, it is. I think proper sick cover and record. Got 2 covers of these, but both of them I can't find the actual record, which is super annoying. I don't really know how that's happened. I guess someone's nicked them, basically. Shows how good of a record it is when the record goes missing and one of your mates nicks it. Again, it's like the Scratch Roulette, as in it's not skipless, it's just pure samples, but it's got every sample under the sun you could want, and super fun for just putting on a record and just scratching away new samples and just kind of seeing what you can do with different sounds and things like that. Absolutely amazing. I'm kind of gutted that I've lost both of mine. I'm probably going to go and see if I can find one now actually and see if I can get another one, because I used to love this record. It's really, really good fun. But yeah, Dirt Style Records, absolute classics for scratch gigs. I guess it shows what time I started scratching. Dirt Style was the go-to label for scratching when I first started scratching, and yeah, that's the first one from Dirt Style in this top 5. Number 2 is Just Stay Funky Like That, Cut and Paste Records.
With the new style. Yeah.
And to be honest, I just chose this one willy-nilly because every single record that these guys put out are absolutely amazing. They're just the bomb. I think they're currently making easily the best scratch records at the moment. Just amazing vocal samples. They think carefully about what they're going to put on each side. So they do one for ultra pitch and one for normal speed, like records like Technics and stuff like that. I have to talk about this Scratch Lords record as well because it's one of the dopest records you'll ever see. As you can see, it's etched into the actual record and it just looks immense, and still beautiful samples. Every single time they have 6 samples and they're just super fun to scratch with. Run by head honcho Systematic. He's an absolute beast on the cut and he's so dedicated to the scene. He's literally just like constantly scratching, getting better, making records. Big up, Si. You're a beast, mate. Keep up the whatever you're doing, just keep it up. It's amazing. But yeah, any of these could easily get put into the top 5. So I'll just kind of I'll cheat a bit and to say Cut and Paste Records. Let's just say any of their collection. So I'm going to do a couple of honourable mentions before I do my top number 1. You've probably seen maybe what it is because I showed you the back of the collection first. But anyway, first one I'm going to talk about is this one, Power Up by Leighton Harris. This one was a limited edition gatefold record, limited to 500, and I barely have opened this, to be honest. It's kind of more of a show record, if that's a thing, but it's so nice. I will open it to show you. There's the record. On the gatefold, you've got this sick artwork, which is all to do with computer games. It's on the actual records themselves, it is mostly computer game sounds. That's why it's called Power Up. So if we take this out, it's etched into the middle. It says, "Harness your ultimate power with this secret scratch phonograph. This power up belongs to," and then it's got my name etched in, Dubin. Like, that's proper sick. I love that. Like, that's why I'm obviously not really gonna scratch this record up, so I don't want to ruin it, because I do have a tendency to ruin battle records, and I guess that's what they're for. But you know, it seems a shame to do that to this one. I should have probably bought 2, because the actual samples themselves are pretty fun, and yeah, like, who wouldn't want to scratch with computer game sounds? So that's A. I'll show you B as well. So, as you see on the front here, it says 1 in 5 chance to win the ultimate power up. And I go to this B side, and that is 1 in 5 chance of getting that. So yeah, gold one, absolutely sick. Again, this has got my name etched into it, so really nice record to have in the collection. Probably not going to be cutting up with it too much, but I like it. Another honourable mention, that is this one here. So I got this from South Korea. Again, it's another more of a show vinyl. You're probably not going to be able to find this one. But I lived in South Korea for a couple of years teaching English, and I met these guys selling these records, and I was like, yo, I have to buy that, like a Korean scratch record. That's sick. There's some proper really nice scratchers out there. They're like really into their scratching, and they're really high level technical guys. So annual project, one for the shut ups. Don't know what that means. It's kind of pretty standard sort of Korean English, I guess. I don't take this out too often either, but I'll take it out just to show you. So side A, bluntly, again, don't know what that means. Side B, cautiously. So I guess they were going for, I don't know, aggressive, less aggressive maybe. We got some cool stickers as well. Got for marking up our records. See, they know what they're doing out there. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's kind of too nice to use, especially because it's white, because as we all know, white records don't do well when you're scratching with them all day because of the hand rough thing. So I'll put this one away real quick and show you my number 1 choice. It's inevitable really, because let's be honest, I'm a self-confessed art and fresh fiend, so it had to be Scratchy Seal, Super Seal, the most unoriginal choice ever. But if I'd gone with anything else, it probably wouldn't have made any sense, because 100% I've scratched with this more than any other record. This one is pretty dead. I think this is the second one I've had of this. And you can see, actually, that's not too bad. The label's not completely worn off, but I think my first one I just completely wore off. It wasn't even, it was just complete plastic. This one I don't think you can get anymore necessarily. You might be able to find a second one hand on Discogs, but I recently bought this one, which is like a Stokio repress, Japanese one. So it's still dirt style. Is it Stokio? I'm not sure, but anyway, it's Japanese repress of the classic Super Seal, so you can get all the R and the fresh. But yeah, this was basically the first skipless record I had, so I was just like, yes, that's amazing. Like, I get to scratch all day and not have to worry about it skipping, and I can just go ham. And yeah, love the record. Absolutely sick samples, and I kind of like the sound of it as well. I know it sounds stupid, but a lot of records don't necessarily get it. It either sounds too bright or not bright enough. This record for me sounds really, really good, and I think that's when Dirt Style were kind of making a lot of the same records. As you can see, I've got They're basically all the same, are and fresh. You know, I've got Super Seal, Cop Porn Breaks. This one is signed by DJ Excess, Bad Man. That one is pretty worn out as well. That one's even more than that one actually. Look, really got into the plastic there. That shows you putting in work, lads. Until you've done that to a record, you've not been practicing enough, basically. And also, this one I've done very similar on Jag Seal Breaks, and yeah, it's just the Iron Fresh. I'm an Iron Fresh fiend, and I've been working on that to kind of break out of that habit, because, you know, as much as Iron Fresh are great, they do limit what you can do when you get onto a vocal sample or like ultra pitch thing kind of thing. So anyway, that's my shit, that's my jam. Again, just a kind of fun video, just to sort of talk about scratching. I'll put some Discog links to the records in the descriptions if you want to check them out if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you know them already. If you're on this channel, you're probably a scratch fiend yourself. But yeah, they're just some of my favourites. I've got tons more other records which I didn't mention, but I was just thinking about the ones which I've got multiples of and the ones which I've used the most, and obviously I'm going to use them in my top 5. If you like the video, please drop a like, it's super useful to me. Subscribe if you're not already, hit that notification bell, and yeah, I'm just going to make more content in the future about DJing stuff, technology, creativity, and just kind of all that good stuff basically. Big ups, see you on the next one.